everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I am your go-to Road to Kingdom dance analyst, and we are finally here. We are starting Road to Kingdom Ace of Ace with the Ace battles as well as the intro stages. So this is going to be split up into two parts for YouTube, but it's all going to be done in one go on Patreon, and you don't have to wait if you are on Patreon. So I am just so excited to just be able to start in real time. I'm just through the moon on it, and I do intend on looking at the episode as well, same day, but it'll get released later on YouTube, hopefully, if the copyright doesn't kill me. So I think without further ado, I think it's time to get started. Next one, ONEUS. I was intrigued about this intro, Who's Got the Joker. I've seen what the original was, and this one's going to be connected to what he did earlier in the Ace, because it's Joker. That was cool. That was cool. But they had to rework it for 5 because they had 6 when they did it originally. They've grown up, guys. Yeah. Yo, that was good. Not only that, they sang it live. Ooh, boy. Now, I'm not saying the other ones didn't, but that sounded more like Pentagon live than it sounded like other type of lives that we heard. Does that make sense? So I think, but once again, I'm not there, so we can't verify any of this. But anyway, this is really cool. I will say though, in the beginning, there's a couple of awkward sound bit interactions, which I mean it's not really on anybody. I think this is really cool though. They did make it feel complete, which is surprising. I'm very surprised. Like, everybody's do feel complete, but theirs feels like we just watched the whole track. But I know this is a shorter track to begin with. This feels more complete than I think when I watched it the first time in the marathon, which is, that gets a thumbs up for me, which is cool. So right here, we have it. He's taking it. He goes, and he goes, which is nice. And then we pan over. Now, he didn't open a door, so that would be my note to him. It needs to be very clear that we're entering in somewhere versus just starting to walk. And he goes and bumps into my other guy, which is cool. He has his moment to the camera. I mean, I feel like we're introducing characters almost. That does feel out of place. Not in what he's doing, but based on the interaction he just had. Because you want all of your things that you're doing like this to be believable. So that's why this beginning feels disconnected, but it makes sense what they're trying to go for. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So all that to say, as he walks through, bumps in to our next feature, he turns and shows a little card trick. He does it directly to the camera to be like, hey, look guys, look at this really cool illusion, versus it's like a part of the character development. So it takes me a smidgen out of trying to get me seeped into the story and not I'm watching a comeback, right? So there's that. He goes, he's walking, ha ha, there's a ha ha ha. And then everyone comes up, they go clap clap, they slide in, that fine. It feels like we're opening like a Coke can or something like that. They go in, boom, ding, ding. They go down, up. That's fine. He comes up. Now that is interesting. You hear this door open, and then this ching. So that's my second case of we're just have neglected doors. So one is my note, or you know, I know Leah Kim and Amy Park were on this. I don't know why we didn't decide to like open the door. You know, we're gonna pantomime everything else. So let's pretend like there's a door that we're opening. And even here, why did the door open? Where is it? Are we recognizing that it's open? And why haven't we justified that sound either time? So that's my note there. And then when he inserted this whatever device in, I think it's like a knife? Yeah, it's like a little knife. It's and maybe he was supposed to do that on the shing, so that's a straight off, like he's not on count for that at all. So we're just gonna count that as a miss, whatever. The rest of it is freaking banger though. As soon as the lights go out, game over. Like, it's awesome. It's freaking awesome how they shift it right here. Now right there, they go, they melt it down. This feels like we're at Mama's. You know what I mean? That's cool. We gotta give flowers where flowers are due. I do think that beginning was a bit off though, and we're gonna call it what it is. But anyway, so he has that there, that shing, still smidgen off on the timing on that, but it could be the overlay in which we're given when we're watching the playback here. So they open it up, which is nice. Da 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 da. He goes, moves away. They said, hey, and I like the hand, so that's really nice to see. They walk out. Yeah, boom. Either begging for me, really for this. That's woo! Oh my gosh, Hwan Eung is such a character. He does this genre very, very well. Is everybody else as convincing? At times, no, unfortunately. But sometimes, yes. So that's the really tricky thing. If you want to see a group, like a good example of somebody doing like a tricky kind of illusionary based concept, I just very recently watched Psychers do Bittersweet and Witch. And part of that is on the choreography team invested on it. And it's their charisma and how all of them commit to character. But their entire lore is tricksters. With ONEUS, this is a phase of concept. You know what I mean? And that's the difference, where some parts are a smidgen awkward, but I'm not going to sit here and expect the same thing that I'm expecting from Psychers when that's the basis of their debut. But here, this is a phase in which we had post Road to Kingdom, the first one, and I still stand by this group does fusion of culture, of like Korean cultural dance and just culture vibes with street vibes better than most groups that I've seen do it. Like, they are banger after banger when they go that route. Which is why it's interesting that we see them go more 1 mil for this when I normally see them do Born Black for that kind of stuff. So I'm very curious if they're going to be switching out people or what. So curious. But anyway, this part looks really fine. Like, it's fine. And I love the fact that we're singing it. We're going for it. It's a performance. It's nice. And they go, ba bang. It's nice. They have our moment, da 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 da. And they frame it around, which is nice. And he goes, da-doom. I'll say timing is a smidgen off on that, but I see what we're going for. He brings up the energy, and we go, and we sit down into it. We hit, we grab, and we throw. And he goes, he has his little, you know, lanky, lackadaisical kind of moment. He goes, boom, boom. Mischievous moment is what I'd call it. So they go down, they bring it over. So I'd say it's just there's just, with what they're doing, everything's just a little bit off. Like here, for an example, it's not clear 100% on the spacing nor the direction of the head for this type of line. Because it's supposed to be a diagonal, and then you have your hands are supposed to be, like his should be a smidgen up higher. It's little things like that. Those things can't add up if you're debating between who should get first versus second. Those details can factor in, at least on the scale of what I'm used to when I adjudicate stuff. Hundreds of points on some of these things, right? But we're dealing with subjective opinion with the masses and with the people there. We're not going to sit here and expect them to be professional judges. No one there is at all. Not the teams, not the people behind the teams, not anybody they bring in a lot of times. They're not professional judges. They're not professionally trained in a criteria, like schema of criteria. And I know I've mentioned that quite often, but it's very relevant to this conversation because a lot of people can get a lot of hurt feelings about certain placements of their groups, and I get that. But we have to understand on an Mnet show, we're not going at it objectively from the jump. We're going subjective off of people's opinions on what they think a group should do. They're also going off of expectations on what they expect from a group. And if ONEUS meets the expectation, they're going to score them better than if they did meet the expectation, but they still brought a better set than most groups, they can score them lower. Do you know what I mean? So we have to factor that into the mix too, that there's a lot of these mixed feelings and opinions going in the back of these guys' heads that we are not a part of that conversation, nor do we hear that conversation. So whenever we see rankings on whether I say this is what the ranking, what mine would be, if it's completely opposite from what ends up happening, that's okay. Because at the end of the day, we're here to celebrate these groups getting more love and getting to celebrate the fact that they're freaking awesome in what they do. Like, this is a really cool set, just like everybody else's. It's awesome. So the setup on that was cool, and they fold it out, which is nice. So they move forward, nice little angsty moment. Notice the sound of that bass sounds more like a gunshot. So I like how we're kind of tying that into that little moment we're about to have later. We run forward. The commitment to the run was really nice. So he has a gun. I love the fact that he pulled that out of thin air. He's about to shoot him, but that he very quickly, boom, freaking clocks him. And of course, picking who you picked to fall. He's one of the most impressive when it comes to that. You saw it in the ace match. There you go. Like, he is winning in that category. You want to see somebody show a fake death? Sign that boy up. I'm telling you, it's awesome. But then from there, haha, joke's on you. That was a dope gimmick. So from here to the end, freaking phenom. So cool. I love the yell. Ah, come on. Like, I feel the intensity of what they're going for just from that. It's nice to hit it. Boom. Da, 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 da. Yeah, not boom, boom. So the fullness on that's really cool. And we swing it down. Do-do-do-doom. Good levels on this, of course, creating this nice controlling, puppeting effect is nice. And they go boom, boom. They go nice little scuff on that. Got the Joker. And he's not just yelling it. Got the Joker. Like how he's hitting it. He's actually matching pitch to some degree. He's not just screaming it in the world. He already did that scream. We don't just want to hear angsty screams the rest of it. We want to hear angsty, pitchy screams that match the melody that you already set on the track. So that's a win for me there. They hit it through. Do-do-do-do. I love that choice. A little extra dig there. Boom, the pulls. Definitely gives that rock angsty vibe. Is this similar in the original arrangement? They were my first group I marathon on all of the 8 groups. 8 groups, guys. Like, oh man, so much material's been looked at. God, I love the fact that we did it though, because I feel way more prepared going into this one than any other kingdom or queendom combined. This is phenomenal. But I can't tell you if this is right up there on the same composition, but this section feels very familiar to me, just like THENEWSIX with CRAVITY feels very familiar. Now there's choreography, not so much as the sound itself. So keep that in mind. That's just how I feel there. The little drop on that was really cool. Love that. You end up seeing that on 8 turn. They do that, but it was an aerial shot, so it was harder to see, but that's what it looks like from a side view. There's cool. So right there, they do a flip. I like how they go there. Nah. Did he sing while doing a freaking flip? One more. That's cool. There's a chance he did. We're not gonna ignore the fact that he could have sang through a backflip. I don't see that very often. That's cool. He's holding it. Hwanwoong is holding it down a lot in the A side and on a lot of the charisma character side. They're putting him in the right places for camera to convince us and further captivate us in the concept. So my goal is I want to be captivated by the whole group, not just one person. So that's my note there. And yes, that is a very real thing that you do see in the competition world in the dance industry. In mega crews and a lot of stuff, a lot of times you're going to have like a lot of really captivating high performance individuals sometimes get placed near the front where most people are going to naturally want to watch them. But what can happen is that can affect the overall cohesiveness of your group. I mentioned that with, funnily enough, Psychers. Hunter was an example that I gave of he was sticking out too much for the role that he's in. His goal is to fill in what needs to be filled in for the overall like meshment of making it feel like a team, not, oh, it's this one person killing it and everybody else is just trying to do their best, right? So that's my note that I would give ONEUS here. They do it well in their own discography, like in this one, but I think I'm just noticing it a little bit more here in the performance side. But they are holding it down well in the transitions for sure. I think it's just the facial side, but at least in body, we're definitely there, which is cool. The throw is cool. I love that jump on that, and they end up throwing, and look at that. We end up doing another bridge recover. And poker face, ha, cute. Then we pull it through, up, down, boom, doom, doom, doom. And we hit. So I like the extra pulses going on in that. We take it over. I like the little drill, ripple across. He stays up. Come on, Soho. And then they finish, and it drops out. So having that, honestly, the fact they all were able to get it across their face, looking like the Joker and not looking like a mustache, I'm honestly more impressed at that. That's so cool. Yeah, you see he missed right here, but he got it right there. So that's one of the most impressive things, is getting it from here to here. Way to go. So that was really cool. I love the gimmicks they did there, but of course all my notes still stand. That's just remember, it's my opinion. I'm not 100% sold on it, and I have the privilege of watching the episode very soon, so we get to live it up with the rest of the members and enjoy what I'm watching. It's cool. ONEUS. Curious about this one. Let's go. Okay, so they're at their little hideout. Their heist is what it feels like, yeah? Ah, see, I missed that. That was cool. Knowing that he was on that table and they had to unlatch it in that time period and fold it over like that, that's so dangerous. That's so cool though. That's a lot of trust in who built that table. Even if other groups have sang live, they sound like it's the most clear that you can hear them sing live. And that's my compliment I'm giving to them for that. That was a surprise. Now, woo! Their fullness is showing up great here. That's awesome. Huh. Is it because they're too close to that camera? I guess. Yeah. Yeah, cool. And they ended up mirroring that too. That's cool. So this one is well done, at least in like when you think Idol, it's singers who dance. They show that package very well. They give me a mix of like the full outness that you've seen from ATs, but they also have the vocals. Like you see them all, like they're acting like ATs or acting like Pentagon. I'm probably more so like them. In this season, which I am totally here for. If you had seen me follow Road to Kingdom, you should have noticed I was really rooting for ONEUS the way I was rooting for SF9. I think their improvement from their intro stage all the way through their finals was top freaking tier and so commendable. So it makes me so excited to see them grow and continue to just skyrocket. Like, because this was really, really well done. I still stand by my notes, however, you know, just like with everybody, I've given notes to everybody. Thank you guys for watching this with me. Some of you guys have made it all the way through from the tip top of the ACE analysis all the way through here. If you're on Patreon, more power to you. I'm shocked myself I made it through. But this makes me so excited. I hope you're excited to watch the episode with me. My goal is episode 1 will be released to the public, but all future episodes are going to be exclusive to paid members on Patreon. But I will have a group chat on Patreon. You do not have to be a paid member. It can be a free member to join and be a part of the discussions. I'd love to meet you there. Rep your fandom. I also want to hear more context. What's going on in the neck of the woods of all the fandoms? Is there any beef that's going on? Anything that's starting to stir that I can help kind of alleviate or put fires out on? I hope I was able to kind of cover some things here. But remember, I am team everyone except Mnet for this. I want everybody to grow. I want everybody to experience celebrations. I want everybody to experience, you know, growth and safe hardships. Yeah, like the challenges, I don't want to be left with PTSD, like what we've had from other kingdoms. I want to be able to put my best foot forward and help be an advocate for groups. And I hope I was able to be clear or constructive, but still show that I really do care about these groups and that they are people. And at the end of the day, who freaking cares about the rankings? Did they feel good about what they did? And I want them to be able to celebrate that. So I'm excited for the discussions on all of this. You guys know me, I know you. I am Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.